Hey y'all! Look at my mama, she childish. But today I'm bringing you a story and a makeup tutorial. My mom a few weeks back was supposed to go to our sneaker ball, but unfortunately things turned out to where she was not able to attend. And so we still wanted to go forward and do her makeup for her. Of course, a few weeks later, but we did want to go in and go ahead and give her a nice look. Something similar to what she would have gotten if she would have went to the sneaker ball. And so this is really exciting and fun for us both. As far as me getting practice, I do want to add that there were many deficiencies within this makeup look. I am not a professional, so don't come in my comments about anything right, the way that I'm doing it, anything like that. This is just my method, my way. Whatever works for you, and what works for me is working for me. Additionally, there is something on her eye that I kind of covered up. I wish I would have said it a little sooner, but something on her eye that I'm working on now that is kind of like a lump that developed or formed due to her having high cholesterol. So please be mindful of your food intake, the things that you're eating, as it will affect your skin in the long run as you begin to get older and so forth. That is something that she wanted me to share with you all. Alrighty, and so for the story, I'm just gonna give you a little bit of our background, how we kind of started, how we had a falling out, and then how we reconnected, and now we're closer than ever. So, just to begin, I had a pretty good childhood with my mom. We've always been really close. She's always been the more lenient parent. My biological father, he passed away when I was about 12 years old, and so, um, I would solely depend on her and my stepfather. Not wasn't really as close with my stepfather, but that's another story for another day. At least not when I was a child. And so when I began to become of age, maybe around that 12-year-old, 13, preteen, teenage years, y'all know how it gets. My attitude developed, but aside from that, I struggled with mental health. I was bullied really bad in school, to the point where I dreaded going to school at some points. I would explain this to my parents, and they just didn't believe that I was getting bullied. And so I had really no support mentally. Like I said, my father, he passed away at 12. Not sure if I shared that, but if not, I do want to share that my father, like I said, passed away at 12. And with the low self-esteem and getting bullied and me beginning to cut myself and do self-harm, it just all began to become a lot, for everyone, not just me, but for my parents too. And because they weren't taught certain things, they weren't able to be there for me, to be completely honest, throughout some of my teenage years. But at the same time, I was still pretty close. I still, even though my mom may not have understood, I still told her. At least my mom, maybe not with my stepdad, but like I said, that's another story for another day. So let's just fast forward a little bit. There was a time where I finally graduated high school. Um, I was working always. I always held a job. But my parents were the type where they like, you got to figure it out. And so there were times where I may have had to walk to work in the rain and the snow, shoes soaking wet. I worked at just about everything in the vicinity of my neighborhood, because that's how I was. I had to keep a job. I had to be doing something to feel like I was successful. I'm just really hard on myself. And so let's fast forward a little bit more. My mom are getting to the point where they want to move. They want to get out of the house that they're in. And so all in all, they told me I had about 2 weeks to get myself together to move, and be on my own finally. And I was like, okay, I can work with that. So I struggled to find somewhere to stay, and luckily, I was like, hey, I'm gonna have to stay in this hotel. Okay, I'm gonna have to go to this hotel. And so I went to this hotel. I moved in, and it was hard. My mom, she did promise that she would provide assistance up until I did get another job or relocate, or maybe about a month, I think she said. But even with that, I think I called her one day and she was just like, she didn't know what to tell me. And that is when everything, the dynamic of our relationship changed. Because she told me that, I told her, well, you know what? I don't feel like we have anything else to talk about, and I'm not talking to you no more. And from that day forward, I believe I blocked my mom for about 6 to 8 months, and I did not speak to her or my father. I spoke to some of my siblings throughout the process, but that whole year where I was homeless, I don't think we reconnected until maybe a few months before I pulled myself out of that situation, of course, with the help of God. Um, and so it was really hard, that process of just being alone. There were days where I sat outside in the heat with all of my things, y'all. Like, I mean, sweating. There was a time where I got kicked out of one hotel, and I moved to the Super 8, and Super 8 has stairs. I had to tote all of my belongings by myself. I'm talking about bins on top of bins and bags on top of bags. I would tote them all to one hotel, take a break, and then get up and walk about an hour or two to work, because I didn't have no car, and the bus wasn't free at the time, and I didn't have no gas money. And so infuriated with my parents and my mom was not the word. I felt like I hated her. We gonna be real. I felt like I hated her. I felt like I didn't understand why I was going through what I was going through. I understood that I was a little bit difficult to deal with, but at the same time, I didn't get it. But eventually my brother told me that my mom was asking about me. And so I told him to tell her to reach out. But anyway, we wound up reaching out. We reconnected. We talked about everything. We got to a place where we weren't bumping heads anymore, but it took some time. It took me having to heal from it, to be completely honest, for me having to tell them how they made me feel in a respectful way. But this story was really just for you guys to just keep pushing with that relationship. I know that things can get difficult, that there may not be an understanding on both ends as it pertains to everything that you all go through, but you only get one mother, and you only get, I know people say you can get more than one child, but you only get one of that same person, their personality, their traits, their characteristics. There's only one of them. So you can't get that back. And so I think we were all both able to look at the bigger picture, and now we are better than ever, y'all. I didn't get into too much detail because I don't want to run out of time while I'm still talking, but I did just want to give y'all a little bit of our background and let you go know that things have not always been perfect. There was a time where I went on Facebook and I told people that I hated my mama. But like I said, with me and with both of us, actually, through prayer, doing Bible plans together, reading the Bible together, to fussing and never fighting, to saying things that we don't mean, all the way up to us being, like I said, as close as we are now, and me being able to do things like I'm doing for her, to honor her, to get to a point where I know I only get one mom and I have to honor her. And so I really hope you guys can enjoy this. It's a little bit more about me, a little bit more in depth than what you guys usually hear. And aside from that, we are getting down to the final makeup look. Okay? Like, I just want to say, this turned out really well. For me doing my mom's makeup, she really liked it. She was like, I gotta go out today. I gotta make everybody seated. Like, I'm going to give me some crabs. And so I really hope you guys enjoyed this story. I hope you guys enjoy this look. And bye. Love you.